Yeah, I just had to go in and um, delete a few videos just to create some more space, um, just to create some more space in my phone, be able to talk about what it is that I want to talk about. And basically, the topic is um, the life insurance blood money, and how your family is involved in your targeting. So, and I'll be using my own experience to kind of illustrate um, illustrate what it is that I'm saying. So, basically, in regards to my targeting, it just became overt. About a year ago, the first person to reveal themselves as being a participant in my targeting was my best friend, a guy that I call my brother. You know what I mean? It was one night we were getting fucked up, and he said it. You know what I mean? It was like we were fucked up, and if anybody know anything about, I was doing coke and shit at the time. And if anybody knows anything about cocaine, that shit make you talk. You get real talkative. You get real talkative, and you get real fucking horny. So we doing what niggas do. Like, we hit the bag and fucking we trying to find some pussy and shit. You feel me? Like, we trying to find some pussy. So, like, he just starts showing me like all these different women. Like, well, I ain't gonna say women, because most of them were like younger than me. You know what I mean? So they were pretty much just little girls, like, type shit. And he made the comment. Oh, I told y'all I get birds too. He made the comment that basically, in a nutshell, like, yeah, like, I'm trying to set something up, but not like I'm trying to set up like no action. Like, I'm trying to set your ass up like with one of these females. You feel me? Like, type shit. So I'm like, okay, cool, boom. Like, after he said that, it's like immediate cut off. You know what I mean? Like, never spoke to him again, never saw him again. But after that, not too long after that is when shit started to get really strange. Shit started to get like really fucking strange. Just abundance of different issues, like with my baby, like between me and my baby mama, between me and my family, like her family, just like a lot of chaos, a lot of crazy shit, like what's going on, and still is, like, to this day. But basically, how I found out about the whole life insurance blood money shit was I ran across a video. I'm not sure if it was the B's, not sure if it was EVs, not sure exactly who it was, but I know I ran across the video of it basically talking about how your family sold you out to the government, like, type shit. And the life insurance money is basically like how they cash out on you once they successfully set you up, whether it be suicide, whether it be you committing a crime where you're locked up for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. So after finding the video, not too long after that, like, my dad and my mom start hitting me with like this whole life insurance policy shit. I'm talking about, like, pressing it. Like, we need birth certificates, we need it like within, you know what I mean? Like, really pressing this shit. You know what I mean? They like, we need it within like 14 to 21 days. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, something, yada, yada, yada. Just like a lot of bullshit, a lot of gaslighting. So I'm just like, this shit weird. You know what I mean? Like, this, but they present it as, because, like, my father knows about, of course, like, if he's a participant, he knows, you know what I mean? He knows what's going on. But yeah, he they really start pressing this shit. You know what I mean? Like, and he tell me, he like, I got $100,000. He like, I took out $100,000 policy on you, and a $50,000 one on your son. Just in case if anything is ever to happen, you know what I mean? Like basically, like they won't have to worry about like funeral arrangements, shit like that. So I'm just like, okay, like this shit is extra fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like this shit is extra fucking weird. Let me roll up the windows because they gonna come out like you see, like they had a lady with the red on pop out, like they gonna start parking next to me, like all types of shit. Trying to distract me from what it is that I'm saying. But yeah, like they start pressing this shit, you know what I mean? The whole life insurance policy shit, like, yeah, we took out such and such and such, we need birth certificates, like in such and such time, yada, 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 which I ain't pressed about this shit because I know at the end of the day, that ain't shit but certain, like, you feel me? It ain't doing shit but selling you back into slavery. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I ain't even bothering with this shit. I ain't even trying to hear it for real. So, after that is when the harassment like picks up like really bad. Like the harassment picks up like really fucking bad. This is when I start to see everything for what it truly is. You know what I mean? Like this is when I start to see everything for truly like what it is and shit. Like, so after he says that in regards to the life insurance policy shit, I find a video, I'm putting two and two together. I'm like, okay, like this motherfucker trying to cash out on me. Like, and possibly my son, he takes out a $50,000 insurance policy out on my son, you know what I mean? My son ain't even a year old yet. So that in itself is like sketchy. You know what I mean? Like sketchy as hell. But I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean? I ain't going nowhere no time soon. Like, you know, you'll die before I do. Yeah, like, you'll never get the cash out on that money. Yeah, and your conscience gonna eat you up by that shit anyway. So even if you do get the cash out on it, like you won't enjoy it. But anywho, I said all that to say. So a year prior to my targeting becoming overt, I still had three living grandparents. Two on my mother's side. My grandma, my granddaddy was still alive on my mom's side. My grandma was still alive on my father's side. So about 2 years ago, both of them end up transitioning. On my mother's side first. So my granddad passes first. 6 months later, my grandma passes. My granddad, he had already had prior health issues, dealt with Alzheimer's, shit like that. But it was said that his death was because of COVID, which is another story. But yeah, you know, if you know. After that, like I said, like 6 months later, like my grandma, like surprisingly passes, like surprisingly transitions. Now, like I said, I got my son in the background, so if y'all hear him talking, like that's my boy. 6 months later, my grandma on my mom's side ended up passing. A year after that, my grandma on my father's side passes. Which, like, all this shit is really it's really weird. You know what I mean? Like how everything is like lining up. But like I said, I just really like started to come into the realization of everything. And I'm just like, fuck. Shit's kind of crazy, bro. Like shit's kind of crazy. Like, but like I said all that to say, during the time that my grandma passed on my father's side, there was this big thing in regards to like money. You know what I mean? Like my dad and his older brother, they ended up falling out somewhat, like over like some possessions, and some money. And then like my mom, when I was talking to my mom one day, it was like my grandma ain't really put nothing away like type shit. You know what I mean? Like she didn't really have anything in regards to her life insurance policy. I think it was like $10,000, and it was like they felt some type of way about this shit. I'm just like I said, all this shit is like really weird. It's really weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like that y'all like are this. Like at the end of the day, she passed. Regard, like you feel me? Like fuck the goddamn insurance money. Like if she was buried successfully, you know what I mean? Like none of this shit shouldn't even hold no weight. That's how I'm thinking about it anyway. But anywho, it's like they start just making these big ass situations, you know what I mean, like over money. And then like I said, I'm approached by my father in regards to the insurance policy that he put on me and my son. So I'm just like, and then I find a video, so I'm just putting two and two together. I'm like, yo, and like I said, this is the topic for the conversation, and maybe I can get some feedback from somebody in some shape, form, or some shape, form, or fashion. Like I said, just because I think it doesn't mean it's law. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like that I can continue to get these thoughts for no reason either. So what if, you know what I mean? Like, what if they sacrificed my grandparents? You know what I mean? Like just to cash out on them. Like, and that's the same thing that they're trying to do to me. Like real shit. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like that my grandparents were targets in any type of way. But what if that's just a game? You know what I mean? Like as a whole, for real. Like what if that's just the game as a whole, where, you know what I mean? Like certain family members, like you might be born into certain families, and that's how they make their money. Through, you know what I mean? Like through the death of other family members. Like shit is crazy, and it would sound crazy to some. You know what I mean? Like, but if you experience shit like this, and then you know that if you're constantly harassed the way that I am, like, you know that motherfuckers will go to any lengths, you know what I mean? Like to get you to do some crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like, or motherfuckers will go to any lengths to get you, you know what I mean? Like just to put you in a fucked up predicament. Like, so who's to say that ain't what really occurs? Who's to say, you know what I mean? Like that my family was responsible for my grandparents' death. You know what I mean? Just to pretty much, because my grandma, I was always close with my grandma, like especially on my mom's side. I was always close to her. She always showed me love. I miss her to death. But it was like as soon as she passed, that's when everything got like really strange, like in my family. It was like just this very bit, like this lady in the red right here gonna pull up right here beside me. Called it. But everything got really weird after my grandma passed. You know what I mean? It was like this big disconnect, you know what I mean? Like within my family. Like it was almost like motherfuckers were like waiting on her to die. You know what I mean? Like to do the shit that they do now. You know what I mean? But like I said it to say, like, and I'm just using my own experience. Maybe somebody can give me some feedback. Maybe they can relate their stories to mine in some shape, form, or fashion where we both can find answers. Who the hell knows? But I'm just like, yo, like, this shit is sick. This program is sick as hell. Like, sick as hell. Like, to have family members, like, turning on each other just for the sake of money. Like, just to be able to, like, cause, like, what really, like, really though, like, what, like, after, if this shit is a success, what really do you plan on doing with $100,000 and your son is gone? Or your daughter is gone? Like what really, you know what I mean? Like how comfortable And that just goes to show you, like, bro, like, this is some demonic ass shit, man. This is some demonic ass shit, dog. Like, for motherfuckers to take greed to this level, where it's like, it ain't no loyalty nowhere for nothing, for nobody. Shit is sick and the shit is sad. Like, shit is really sad for real. But hopefully somebody got the gist of what it was that I was saying. I pretty much, I'm a little all over the place, you know what I mean? And then I got my son with me. I got a lot of shit going on. But this is a constant thought that I've had for like the past month and a half. What if certain families, you know what I mean, like really sacrifice other family members just to be able to cash out on their insurance money? Or what if, like I said, what if that's just the game as a whole? You know what I mean? Like, mind-boggling. But drop a comment. Drop a comment if you have any feedback. If you have anything that you want to relate to my experience, like I'm definitely open to hearing other people's perspective in regards to what it is that I'm saying. I could be thinking about it wrong. I could not be thinking about it wrong. Either way, the truth is always revealed. The truth is always revealed. And everything you do in this world has a cost. You know what I mean? So like I said, if you are successful in this shit, whether it be with me or another targeted individual, like, it ain't no peace in that shit, man. It ain't no peace in that. It'll never be no peace in that. And it's like, at the end of the day, you really got to ask yourself, what was it really worth? But like I said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment if you have anything to say. I appreciate all the supporters. I appreciate all the views. Until next time, peace.